Denver 7's Christian Lopez joins us near Iliff and Peoria this morning, where 10 people now need a place to stay.
Yeah, Brian, and we spoke to a family of 6 who was impacted and they lost everything. And right now they're staying in a vacant apartment for the time being, but all of their belongings were gone in just seconds. And this is not the only fire that investigators are looking into. There were around 10 that happened overnight, and these broke out in bushes next to buildings, in fields, as well as dumpsters. But the most destructive one was the one that broke out at this apartment building, and it displaced around a dozen people. And we spoke to Laura Flores, who said that she was the one who noticed this fire and she woke her family up.
So I wake up like everybody to get up now. I grab my dog and all my family, and I just scream like, fire, get out.
And she does tell us that she is just thankful that she and her family are safe, but they don't really know where to go from here. We are going to stay out here and continue getting the latest information, and we'll bring it to you as soon as we get it. We're live in Aurora this morning. I'm Christian Lopez, Denver 7.
Thank you, Christian. Certainly a dangerous situation, made more dangerous by our windy conditions out there. As we take a live look outside, it looks really pretty with the sun, but the cameras were shaking yesterday, and just behind you, Lisa, we can see how strong the winds still are.
Yeah, it's still going to be an issue. Scary, you're right. When you see a situation like that and you consider we had wind speeds anywhere from 60 to 80 miles per hour yesterday here across the plains and the mountains, we had gusts over 100 miles per hour. Now it's about half that. We're seeing speeds at around 20 to 40. It is still going to be gusty today, and speeds will get up to about 60, but it won't be as bad as what we saw yesterday. Here at about 9 o'clock on your dog walking forecast, a little easier to get out there today and take the dog out. It's a chilly start, mid-30s here by 9 o'clock. We'll be at right around 50 by 5, so it's going to be windy and chilly today. It's going to feel more like 40s. Take a look at that mountain forecast, 20s and low 30s in the northern and central mountains, and it's going to feel more like teens. So pretty cold if you're heading up to go skiing, and it is still going to be gusty there. We'll see some areas of blowing snow in through the high country. A number of alerts that we'll talk about, but again, these are all wind-related. Fire danger there in pink. We have high wind warnings in gold. Details on when these expire and when things are going to calm down, Jason, coming up.
And it's not calming down on the roadways by any means. Still a lot of traffic volume out and about. We do have a problem out to the west side. I'll get to that in just a second. And take a look at the camera here at 225 and Parker Road. So this is the southbound side, heavy. We had a stalled car right there in the center part of the highway, and then it's just the meter light that holds traffic longer at the cost of you sitting back over here at Peoria to get onto I-225 and head south. Obviously, it's super heavy here. They're going to hold the traffic longer here, and it's going to be a long wait before you get down to the Denver Tech Center. Look at the drive times, at least 15 to 20 minutes just right in there, and then it's a half an hour on I-25, either north or southbound, so real busy there. We have a crash near McIntyre along the westbound side of Highway 58, so coming off of I-70. It's delayed out there, unfortunately, a couple extra minutes, and the rest of the drive is just running super slow for you. A lot of congestion on 270, I-25 across downtown, I-70, and out to the airport. So you just see a lot of folks out and about here right now.
Yeah, 2 hands on the wheel, too, with all the wind out there, which left quite a mess behind this morning. Check out video from the area around Platt Park. Tree limbs down. Power lines down. At one point, nearly 10,000 people in the metro were without power overnight. The good news is the most recent XL outage map shows only a few lingering issues after crews work to get things back on.
Officials believe a downed power line ignited a wildfire in the Carriage Hills area north of Boulder. Gusts in that area yesterday morning topped 70 miles per hour. Firefighters were quickly able to contain that blaze, keeping it to just half an acre in size.
Well, we're looking at more fire danger today with red flags warnings out there. Firefighters fortunately stopped this small fire in Boulder County yesterday morning before it could do damage to nearby homes, but it was in a wooded area. In a major disaster like the Marshall Fire, firefighters might not be able to respond everywhere at once, and that's why there's a new service from insurance companies coming in. Denver 7's Veronica Acosta is looking at contracted wildfire defense teams.
when wildfires break out, you're probably trying to protect yourself and then think about protecting your home. But by the time those pre-evacuation and evacuation orders go out, that thought of protecting your home, it might just be crossing just a little too late. And that is exactly where these emergency response teams come into play. So the one we're specifically talking about today, it claims to be able to come in during these times and help clear anything that could easily catch on fire. Things like shrubs that may be near your home, even some flammable furniture that can be moved away from things like doors. So this could, or rather some insurance companies have rolled this service out at no additional cost to homeowners, partnering with these exact kind of companies. We spoke to an insurance agent who told us she has heard of these kind of services. Current fire conditions, though, should prompt any homeowner to call their agent to check on current coverage because of conditions as well as those increasing home prices.
It really is a wake-up call that people need to be talking to their insurance professionals about how am I financially prepared for wildfire? What are my limits?
And Walker said that she recommends anybody and everybody who owns a home to go ahead and give their agent a call when they've made any kind of upgrade and also when they've bought anything that might be expensive and be in the home. She says she doesn't want anyone to be underinsured at this point. In Boulder County, I'm Veronica Acosta, number 7.
Veronica, thank you. Turning to the war in Ukraine now. Today, the Biden administration plans to announce a new round of sanctions against Russia, along with several other nations. While Russian forces are pulling back in some places, airstrikes are continuing to hammer the coastal city of Mariupol, where thousands of civilians are trapped and running out of food. ABC's Wynn has the latest.
Good morning. In the suburbs of Kyiv, bodies continue to pile up in what appear to be mass graves. A human rights team is there investigating what exactly happened.
Russian troops are moving away from around the capital of Kyiv, revealing in its path horrific scenes of death and destruction. In Bucha, bodies lay out in the open. In besieged Mariupol, civilians are still trapped, running low on resources. Here, long lines of people waiting for food. President Volodymyr Zelensky, in his first address to the United Nations Security Council since the Russian invasion, calling on the world to act.
They were killed in their apartments, houses.
Now, the Biden administration is sending an additional $100 million in security assistance to Ukraine. The U.S. also set to announce new sanctions against family members of Russian officials, as well as a ban on all new investments in Russia.
This comes as the U.S., the UK, and Australia announced they're teaming up to work on hypersonic weapons, the center of a new arms race with China and Russia. Wynn, ABC News, Washington.
President Biden blames Vladimir Putin's invasion of Ukraine for high gas prices right now. So when will the market readjust? Well, this morning we're taking a 360 in-depth look at oil prices and how that's translating to the gas pump before oil executives testify before Congress here in about 30 minutes, and if releasing some of the U.S. oil stockpile will even make a difference. So first, let's take a look at current prices. Friday will mark a month since oil hit nearly $124 a barrel. It has dropped back to about $100 a barrel for the last week, but the average price of gas in Colorado has only dropped about 2 cents since then. Also today, executives from 6 large oil companies will testify before a congressional panel about the rising cost of gasoline. Colorado Representative Diana DeGette chairs the House Subcommittee on Energy and Commerce and says Americans are suffering from the skyrocketing cost of gasoline, while some of the nation's largest oil companies are reporting record high profits. We will not sit back and allow the fossil fuel industry to take advantage of the American people and gouge them at the pump. But industry experts say the oil industry has the same problem many companies face right now: supply chain.
They may get grilled on why U.S. oil production isn't going up, but I think a lot of the answers are going to be very similar to things we're hearing in other sectors of the economy. That is, we're encountering significant labor challenges and headwinds, steel shortages. There's just a lot of supply chain disruptions that are affecting oil companies' abilities to raise production in a meaningful way.
As for the oil releases President Biden is promising, for some context, 1 million barrels a day can help the supply chain, but the European Union is also considering whether to stop buying oil from Russia, and that would mean a loss of more than 4 million barrels a day from the global market.
Denver-based Frontier Airlines is facing some competition to join forces with Spirit. JetBlue is now offering to purchase Spirit for nearly $4 billion. That's more than the nearly $3 billion Frontier offered. Spirit's board has not made a decision yet on which deal to pursue. Either one could face scrutiny from federal regulators who've taken a tougher stance on mergers. DIA is on a journey to expand to Africa. Right now, there are no direct flights from Denver to anywhere on that continent. The airport is launching a new committee to explore adding flights. The airport says the group will identify airlines and cities that'll provide the best opportunities for flights to the Mile High City.
New trouble for the Aurora Police Department, the big-time backlog the department is currently facing, and what city leaders say they're doing with it. Also launching rockets to support shoppers. The Part 1 Colorado company is playing in Amazon's new plans.